Well, welcome to the main street of Jerusalem at the time of Jesus. Even before that, it wasn't exist. It was outside the church, but later on, outside the walls. Later on, it became to be the main street of Jerusalem. At the 4th century, even the 2nd century, it used to be the corridor, the main street. And the Church of the Holy Sepulchre started from here. Then one day, I will be able to enter through here. It used to be a bakery, and to show you the stairs that leads to the main church. Meanwhile, I'm going to use those stairs. It's going to be a video of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I can tell you that I know how to start it. I don't know how I'm going to finish it, how long it's going to take. It's actually the one who leads me is there, and I'm just following in a way the Holy Spirit. I'm dedicated the tour to everyone who watch it, and please, usually 60% of the people who watch it are not part of my family. Then I'm talking those 60% of the family. Subscribe to my channel. Be part of my family, especially because I'm not working for more than 8 years because of the horrible war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. There are no tourists, or at least almost no tourists. And I'm doing it because I like to do that. I do have more than 20,000 videos. Then in that case, today it's the border between the Jewish quarter, you can see the white dome, the Christian quarter, and the Muslim quarter. Then we are actually walking above the entrance of the church, and from here, more or less, you could visit a beautiful basilic church, part of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, that was here at least until 1009, and then it was destroyed by the Muslims. And from that moment, the church of today, it's only less than half what it used to be. Then I want you to understand that this is the main entrance to the church at the 4th century. 4th century because St. Helen built the church by the name of her son, Constantine, at the 4th century, 326. If we're talking about a woman, now, you already saw the most important cross of Jerusalem that symbolized I've been in Jerusalem. And someone asked me what's the meaning of it. And first of all, you can see the dirt from Jerusalem. The big cross is Jerusalem, and the 4 others, whatever you want. I prefer to look at it as the 4 Gospels of the Bible. That tour is dedicated to the one who bought it, and I think it's a surprise for the family, because the one who bought it is Nichola from England, Derek, brother, and Maureen, a sister, are part of it, but they are dedicated to Evie, the mother who sadly left them a few years ago. Then the tour is going to be a regular tour, but it's dedicated to Ivy and her family. This is the unknown part of the church. I know that some of you actually look at yourself now and say, I don't know that part. Mainly because most of the tourists are not reaching that place from here. That part is the Egyptian part of the church. Egyptian? Yes, it is. The smell of their food is such an amazing thing. You can see now 2 domes. The first dome is above the Katilikon, the main church of the Greek Orthodox, main cathedral. But the most important one, you can see a little bit hidden there. It's the biggest dome above the Nichola, the tomb of Jesus. In that church you can find few of the Via Dolorosa stations. For example, here, the 9th station of the cross, that's where Jesus fell for the 3rd time. And in the church I will mention other Via Dolorosa stations. There are 14 stations. Some of them are inside the church. It's only 95 degrees now. It's boiling here. Early morning it was 99 degrees, then you can understand, and I'm lucky now. This is the Egyptian, the Coptic Orthodox Patriarch, with beautiful churches which I never visited yet, and one day I will. But we will enter from here straight to the roof of the church. We're actually at the roof of the church. This is another sign of the 9th station of the cross. And look how beautiful it is. Until the 60s, that part actually was part of the Egyptian, but then the Ethiopians owned it. And I'm not going to enter into the battles who owns that place, because this is part of the politics of the church. Their church belongs to Armenian, Orthodox churches, Latin church, Catholic church. But as you can see, Egyptian and Ethiopians are part of it. Remember that, Tom, we might visit the lower part of it. I will mention it if I arrive it. It's so hot here that even the monks are not here. The Ethiopians believe that they are a creation of a meeting between Queen Shiva and King Solomon. 9 months later, the first Ethiopian king was born, Melnik. And he was here. He came to visit his father, who gave him the 10 Commandments. Then in that case, if you want to see where is the 10 Commandments, the Ark of the Covenant, you have to go to the city of Aktum in Ethiopia. That olive tree represents the sacrifice of Abraham and Isaac. According to the Jews, that happened at Mount Moriah, which is the Temple Mount today, but all the traditions were moved to here. Then in that case, here, and not only here, you can find some chapels or reminders of Isaac. Now, why Isaac is so important? Because he almost sacrificed to God, but God spared his life. Jesus came to complete that mission. He actually was sacrificed for us. He took our sins. He completed that story. Then I am Isaac. Zahi, it's actually a shortcut of Isaac. Then there is kind of a connection between those two, between me and Jesus. It's a beautiful yard, and look how beautiful is that water well, and kind of a neighborhood of the monks. Usually I'm entering to here, although there's a private sign, but I usually have to ask permission, and this time I didn't. Then if it's okay by you, I'm not going to enter to here. But let's continue through 2 Ethiopian churches. And the Ethiopian churches, Ethiopia, they've got a lot of problems between themselves and the Egyptian. Then in that matter, they cannot renovate that place. Because to renovate the church, you need the agreement of all the churches. One of the problems of that church. Could be the most beautiful church in the world, but I love it like that. Then let's enter to the 2 churches. In that part, you will see a painting of Queen Sheba visiting King Solomon. We left the upper church and we are entering to St. Michael Church. What is beautiful to see is that they have two parts of the church. The inner part, which usually is closed, it's called the Holy of the Holy, and only the high priest can enter. It's very similar to the Jewish temple. Look at the painting of Jesus. This is the facade of the church. And let's first enter the church to see if something is happening. If not, we will go back to the facade. But anyhow, at the end, we will do that as well. Yes, we entered the church in a very important time. Twice a day, the church being blessed by the Greek Orthodox, by the Church of Syria, and the Armenian. And this is the time. You can see the Syrian one is actually waiting, and here it is, the Greek Orthodox one. Is now entering to the tomb of Jesus. And let me bless the cross. I already blessed it in the church, in the tomb of Jesus. The tomb of Jesus includes two chapels. The first chapel with the candle is the chapel of the angels who took care that no one will steal the body of Jesus. And on Sunday, the ladies, the women, Mary Magdalene was one of them, tried to enter into it to see that actually Jesus wasn't there. The inner part where the monks, the Greek Orthodox monk is the tomb himself, which is of course empty. Then he is now going out. Let me bless you and the cross with him. So it's so nice to see that when he entered the tomb, he is taking his hat off. He will go to the other places of the church, and now the second one will arrive. And let's wait for it. This is the Armenian one. Listen to the wooden knock on the wood. It's not that someone is building something. It's because of the Muslims who didn't let the Christians to use the bells until 1831. Then they used to knock on the wood. And here, traditionally, they are doing it. Then the Armenian guy, the Armenian monk, is making a round tour around the Angel Chapel, is kissing now the table. At the table there is a reminder from the a reminder from the the smell is amazing. A reminder from the Rolling Stone. And the third monk will come, and he is already there. He is coming. Each one of them has got a different smell of incense. All together, for me, it's such a blessing. An amazing blessing. You can see here an Israeli group who are visiting that church. The tourists, there are only few tourists, I must say. The structure of the tomb is new. It's from 19th century because that church been destroyed for the times. They just blessed the Catholicon. Remember the basilic that I told you? And the basilic was here. And they are starting to the ceremony soon.
Go inside.
Okay, of course not. You can see that I cannot go inside. They will start their prayer, noon prayer, right now. And it's such amazing to hear it. Then we have been blessed. We have been blessed. Ivy, Nichola, Maureen, Derek, we have been blessed. Because we started the tour from the end, then let's do whatever we want with it. Beautiful chapel, belongs to the Catholic. And for me, this is the 15th station of the cross. That is where Mary met Jesus on Sunday. It's very important for me, and now you see the amazing Armenian monk heading to the prison of Christ. But you know, we'll let him go because I didn't finish my, that chapel. Mary Magdalene was standing right there. Jesus actually stood right here. And the Catholic monk here is actually opening the chapel of the mother, according to Jesus met his mother here. And he's standing here because he's supposed to guard that place. Remember, people you can see now the Greek Orthodox, people are blessing themselves here. That's why he entered there, but the Catholic monk, is supposed to be here. In that small corridor, you can see three main things. First of all, the wall from the 4th century, part of the church that St. Helen built. And this is so rare to find, and this is so important. There are Greek Orthodox plating here that symbolize that it belongs to them, but it's still a place of conflict because the Catholic believe that this is their place. For what is important for us, this is the 4th century church. Here you can see, we call it the Chapel of Mary, the columns of Mary. You can see a few different columns. The smallest one, the narrow one, the first one that you see, is from the 11th century, after the destruction of the church by the Muslims. The big one is from the Crusade time, when they built or renovated church. They knew that they must build something more massive than that. We're heading now, my dear family, Ivy family, into a special chapel that most of the tourists are skipping, but we are not. And this is the prison. When Jesus reached here after his Via Dolorosa procession with the cross to the Golgotha area, he had to wait for his crucifixion. Then according to so many, especially from 12th century, that was the prison chapel. You must understand that at the 12th century, before the 12th century, and actually after the Crusade time, the Christians couldn't do their procession outside the city. Then a lot of the places, you can see the Armenian, that's bless herself, is now entering to the prison of Christ and the prison of the two. Remember, he wasn't been buried alone. We know each other for like a million years, and I'm trying not to talk with him while he is doing the procession, the incense procession. And so many people ask me, how did they been buried, put in jail? Then according to what we believe, this is the prison site and the place that Jesus was put in jail until the crucifixion. You can see exactly how he was put in jail. This is not a new system. It's the system of the Roman time. Then when we found those stones, we knew exactly that he was there. This is the sign of the Greek Orthodox Church. Let me take you to another place that most of the tourists are not visiting. Let's wait for him. Church of Syria, the Syrian church. I love to walk here. Oh, the smell is amazing. I wish that you will actually be blessed by that. I wish that everything that you will ask will come true now. I'm talking about everyone who are watching that video. And please don't forget to send it to your friends. There are 3 chapels here that tells us the story that happened here. Sadly, this third one is closed because they are renovating the floor. Look at the floor now. It's made of wood. But if you want to see the ancient floor, you can see a little bit here. It took them years to renovate, or to decide to renovate it, and they did. Then they're doing it slowly, slowly. Every time they're closing one part of the church. Greek Orthodox Chapel of the Spear. Longinus, the Roman guy who actually used the spear while Jesus was on the cross. And remember, water and the blood went out of here. He himself was converted into Christianity. The Armenian They have their own chapel of it, and this is a typical, beautiful, typical Armenian chapel. The ceremony just ended, and now they are working on the floor. It's going to be a little bit noisy. According to the Armenians, a lot of the clothes, who will get the clothes, actually happen here, but it's such a beautiful place. The stone that Jesus was on it, while they condemned it, laughed at him, is there. You can actually look for it in my other videos. Sadly, you cannot see a thing from here. I'll try to show you a little bit of what we can see from here. Maybe you can see a little bit. Not really. But I can tell you that the floor is not there anymore. We are entering to... the smell is amazing. I was waiting for that part. They blessed that part a few minutes ago. Then the incense smell is still there. Gregorius, Armenian chapel. And before they will close it to me, and they might do that soon, let me enter to there and to show you the table of, the chair of Saint Helen. That's where she sat before they, at the time that they discovered the true cross. There are two chapels. First one is dedicated to John the Baptist, but this is an entrance to Saint Vertan Chapel. Sadly, it's so difficult to enter, but you can find few things here. First of all, the temple of Adrian that built it on top of the crucifixion place, dedicated to the beauty. Just forgot the name. I will remember it soon. But you can see ancient crosses all over here at different times. A lot of graffiti like that. And the main one is Gregorius, which is the first bishop of the Armenian, who converted the king and then the kingdom into Christianity with the mother and the son. From here, St. Helen actually looked down there when they found the true cross, and we are heading there soon. And he comes now to close there. Okay. We've been saved. I was happy to show it to you. Now, the mosaic floor is new, but it shows you 9 cities from the 4th century in Armenia that had been destroyed, most of them, by the Turkish in 1915, and Mount Ararat, which was part of Armenia, was taken from them at the, I can say, Holocaust or genocide of them by the Turkish of the day, and it's now part of Turkey. It's beautiful to see Gregorius converting the king into Christianity, and this is the importance of it, because the Armenians were the first nation who converted as a nation to Christianity. And if you ask me why there are so many Armenian chapels in their church, and why do they have their own quarter, now you know. Now you know. The Persians in 1614 came to here and destroyed the church and took the cross with them, the true cross. But at 629, Caesar Heraclius brought it back. And Caesar Heraclius is very important for the Armenians because he was an Armenian. We are living now the Armenian chapel. Oh, I forgot to mention it. Remember the dome that we saw at the roof of the church? This is the one. Then welcome to the Catholic part of it. And you actually saw it as well. One of the reasons that we believe that that church, which is now in the center of the city, was outside the city, is that place. And you will see another one later on. That was a quarry from 8th and 7th century BC. A quarry is always outside the city. Some say that King Herod used that quarry as well, and you can see that it was a quarry. But they left it because of two reasons. First of all, maybe the rocks are not so, the quality is not the best one. Secondly, he died. And when he died, he didn't pay the check for the people who worked here, and they left. Then in that case, remember the balcony that we saw? At the 4th century, when St. Helen came to here and started to excavate the place to find the evidence of Jesus, they took her to here, and she found 3 crosses. One of them was the true cross. She took a sick lady, and when that cross touched her, she was cured according to one of the story, or resurrected according to the other story. Then this is where the true cross was found. Sadly, St. Helen cut that cross into 3. She brought one part to Rome, Constantinople, the second one, and here was the third one. The cross on top of the Golgotha wasn't a true cross. It was kind of a replica of it, and when the Persian stole it, they stole the replica, not the true one. Today, there are few pieces of relics, actually, of the true one. Then what I want you to see, there is a beautiful fresco of the Crucifixion. The mother is, Jesus is in the middle, the mother is to the left, and John is to the right. Let me close the flashlight. Wait a minute. Then let me. Aphrodite. That was the name of the temple that was built too. Some say that it was for Jupiter, but I believe that Jupiter temple was on top of the Temple Mount. I'm not sure that you can see there's a plaster that cover the walls here, because they use that place as a water system as well. And if you remember when we travel at the Coptic place, you saw some kind of water well, and that is the holes for it, for the buckets. And there are 2 Catholic statues at that church. One you will see at the Golgotha, and this is St. Helen, this is the second one. Then let's bless you and bless the cross. Now, my friends, I know that I do have a different system. I believe that a Christian is a Christian. If you believe in Jesus, you are a Christian. There are so many ways to accept it or to see it. There are 2 tombs of Jesus. one that belongs to most of the Christians, and we are visiting it. This is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which is the Church of the Holy Tomb. And there's another name for that church, the Church of the Resurrection, because the Greek Orthodoxy actually thinks about the resurrection, about the empty tomb. And I accept those two names with love, but some of the Protestant believes that their church is in the center of the city, surrounded with a wall, and Jesus couldn't be buried inside the city, always outside the city. Then they found a place that's called the Garden Tomb, which is a magical place, and I will ask you and beg you to visit it as well when you come to here one day. But those two for me are very important. I'm not going to argue which tomb is the true one. I will argue about the way that people react to the places. Hate. Don't hate. It's something that destroys everything. Please accept that people believe in Jesus in different ways, and it's more than beautiful. Is it okay? Thank you. I believe that there will be less war if we will believe that there are ways, different ways to accept it. On the way up, I want you to see a lot of graffitis. 11th century, 12th century, I don't know. There are so many researches about how old those crosses, but it's old. Now remember, graffiti is a pollution, but a graffiti of so many years is part of history. And I'm saying it because soon you will see lots of graffitis from from years ago, few years ago. We cannot make a run tour. We have to go back from the same place, and this is for me more than okay, because the incense smell is still here. The question that I'm usually asked, why the Catholic are not part of the incense procession? Because they have their own procession. Look at the beautiful organ. Everything is new, even the dome. At 1808, their church was burned down. It actually started at the Armenian chapel, and then everything was been destroyed. They have to build it again. Let's enter to another unknown chapel, and this is the second symbol of the truth of that place, because what you're looking at is a tomb, a Jewish tomb from the time of Jesus. If you remember, Jesus, let me put it here, Jesus was buried at the same day, because this is the Jewish way. I want you to understand that Jesus was a Jew. And Jesus wasn't a Palestinian. That is a new way of the Palestinian to tell you that this was Palestine, not Israel. Jesus was a Jew, and he was buried according to the Jewish way. At the same day, they have to take him down from the cross and to bury him before sunset. Sunset, it's the end of the day. And then Joseph of Arimathea, who had that place for himself, was his garden. He gave Jesus his own tomb. Then he asked Joseph of Arimathea went to Pontius Pilate and asked the body of Jesus and got it. And then they purified him very quickly. They put a shroud around him, and then they put it in one of those niches, not in that cemetery, but in something like that, the niches like that. And the idea was to bury the family there. Then here you can see only two, but there are 5 niches, at least 5 niches. Sadly, the 4th century church that was built here destroyed part of the tomb. Then what will happen to the 6th body if there's no space for them, no place for them, no niche for them? They will open the niche. In Hebrew it's called kuchim, and they will take the bones out and they will bury the next one. It's very important for me to tell you that because, and this is very important, because when Jesus was buried, he got Joseph of Arimathea tomb that no one used before. Then what you're looking at is the tomb of Jesus, at least the location of it. But what I want you to understand that it used to be like a cave, the cave that you saw. Now let's talk about the room. It doesn't look so well, isn't it? It doesn't look so well because it's part of the debate between Armenian, Church of Syria, and even the Ethiopian who owns that room. Until they figure out who owns that room, no one will maintain it. That is evidence of the altar that was burned down in 1808. And look at the graffiti. This one is from 2018. 2022, sorry. This is a pollution, but you know, if that Arabic inscription will be here for the next 600 years, that will be history. And they will study about the names, about the people who've been here, the places that they came from. You can actually study so many things here about it. But for me, except of that beauty Jewish cemetery, that we might believe that if that's the garden of Joseph of Arimathea and he gave Jesus his own tomb, it might be the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. But the wall that you see here is from the 4th century. Another evidence for the first church that was built here, one of the first churches in the world, built here by St. Helen. And you can see that there are holes, square holes on the wall. Why? Because it used to be so beautiful, and the holes actually held marble. And look at it, look at here, it was covered with marble. There are so many holes here around that tomb that at the 4th century, I'm sure that they already accepted the idea that that might be the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea in Magdalene. Then they decorated it with beautiful stones. We are going out, and the first chapel that you will see is the Coptic chapel, and that's the back of the tomb and closest place to the tomb of Jesus. And this is the one who actually got that place. Then the head of Jesus was right there. Oh, smell of the incense still here. What left for us to visit? And I know that it's a long video, but I told you, I don't know how long it's gonna take. I hope that you will watch it, and if you are watching, if you are reaching that moment, please write me, tell me that you saw it, because you are not less than the best Christians that I can actually ask for. Before we will continue, I'm not working for more than 8 months now because of the war. You are the only supporter of me. If you want, then the easy one is to send that link or my YouTube link to all of your friends and tell them to subscribe. This is the easy one. The second option is to help me financially, and that by 3 options. The first one, look at the like button right here. Next to it there is a shape of a heart. It's called Super Thanks. This is, you can support me via YouTube. The second other two, at the description, the text of that video, you will find a link of Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. You can do that through there as well. And if you want to have your own cross, Buy Me a Coffee link will help you to understand how to approach it, how to have it, and how you know that I'm going to bless it in the holy sites in Jerusalem. I will send you the cross or the Bible, and I will upload to YouTube the video. Then you will have a reminder from there. We are at the Armenian chapel. That's where the ladies looked at the crucifixion, which was right there. And we're going to climb it. The video will be long, but I think it's important. This is part of the holy fire. And for me, I'm blessing everyone. I don't mind if you're not Armenian. That cross is of Jesus. Then in that case, it's such an important cross for me. And let's leave the tomb area. And slowly, we're going to climb up to the crucifixion area. I must say that it looks like it's going to be a very long video, but with that video, you will understand everything. We saw the tomb, and now you know that it was like that, because the structure is new. Before he was buried, you know that they purified his body. And here you can see Mary, the mother, of course, the women that been here. John is kissing his hand, and to the right you can see 2 important figures, Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, who gave Jesus his own stone. That stone is not less than that one. This is the anointing stone, and for me, it's one of the most important sites here because the naked body of Jesus touched it, and I'm anointing now the cross itself. Where's Ivy? It is. To the mother, to Derek, the brother, Maureen, and Nichola from England. Then let us climb up to the church, to the crucifixion place. Wow, I feel a little bit dizzy, it's so hot here. But before that, let's enter to here. This is Adam Chapel. And before you will tell me that it cannot be Adam Chapel because Adam was died before the flood of Noah, then I can tell you that according to the Greek Orthodox tradition, the tomb of Adam was brought to here after the flood by God. And in that case, now we can understand that it was there. But the most important part for me, the most important reason that I'm here, is that you can see the creek of the Golgotha. We are just beneath the Golgotha. And you can see the creek. Remember when Jesus died, the earth actually shook, and tears of blood went down and resurrected a lot of people. Then you can understand how holy the blood of Jesus was. And Yes.
גם אני.
Wait a minute. I don't know if you know it. Happy birthday to
Yesterday.
All right, it was yesterday. Happy birthday to you.
שלום לכל הצופים של צחי, המדריך
In
הטוב
English,
ביותר בעולם.
please.
Hello to all Zahi's viewers. He's the best guy in the world, apart of me, of course.
Of course. She's so decent.
And
She's
he
so
lost weight.
nice.
He looks so handsome. It's
Yeah, I
unbelievable.
lost 17 kilos.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, now I
כיף
can
לראות
walk
אותך.
and now for another 10 hours.
Wow.
Then I won't disturb you. It's so good to see you, especially at your birthday week.
תודה רבה.
Bye. See you. Yom Tov. And before we will leave, so many ask me where are the tombs of the Crusaders, King Baldwin, and I forgot the nation. Gosh, what's happened to me? Because I'm so gonna celebrate my 62 his birthday soon. Then I started to forget things. But some of the Crusader kings were buried there. The only problem is that the Crusaders weren't the best friends of the Greek Orthodox. Actually, the Greek Orthodox killed a lot of them when they entered to Jerusalem. Then in that case, when the Greek Orthodox built it, they destroy the tombs. Lately, they renovated that place, and I know that they might found the tombs themselves, but they didn't publish it yet. And then in the future, I will know more. Now we're climbing up to the Golgotha, and the Golgotha belongs to the Catholic and the Greek Orthodox. A little bit steep, but as you can see, it's empty. This is the Franks chapel, which is outside the church. It used to be one of the entrances to their church, but it's been blocked by Saladin. But because of it, so many things from the Crusader time was left. Look at the columns from the Crusader time. And above us, we cannot see it from here. I'll try to climb up to show it to you, but usually because of the glass, it's difficult to see. There's even mosaic from the Crusader times. Everything been destroyed because of the fire here, except of that mosaic. That mosaic is from 12th century of the Ascension, not connected to that church, because the Ascension was at Mount of Olives, but it's the next story. Then in that case, there is kind of a connection. Then everything that you see here is from 1808 and up. And what I want you to see is that beautiful mosaic wall that tells us the story from Adam and Eve until Jesus' time. You can see King David here, Daniel here, Josiah here, the prophets, and that actually tells us about the future coming of Jesus Christ. The end of it is here. You can see that cross with the 12 disciples and Paul and Peter as well. Another 3 mosaics wall, oh, it's so noisy now, is here. The most important one for me is nailing to the cross, which is part of the Via Dolorosa. And if you are visiting with me the church, you know that altar is not the one that you usually saw. The altar of the Medici family from Italy was taken back to Italy recently. They promised to bring it back. Here you can see nailing to the cross. The Roman soldiers who did it Mary the mother, and Mary Magdalene. The next one's connected to here, and you can see John, the women watching the crucifixion place, and you can see that Jerusalem is there. We are now outside the city. Another important mosaic wall, and now I think you already know the story because I told you about it, is about Abraham, Isaac. Abraham almost sacrificed Isaac, and the angel told him, God believes you, you don't need to do that. Instead of it, you can actually crucify the lamb. And Jesus is the lamb. Remember, he came to save us. He took all the sins from us. Before it's going to be crowded, let me bless the cross right there. This is already the Greek Orthodox chapel, and that's where Jesus was crucified. This is the exact spot of the crucifixion. Let me touch the bedstone, the bedrock. You can see the bedrock itself is covered with a glass because people used to take some souvenirs. John is to the right, Mary is to the left, and above Jesus you can see is sinless. Jesus from Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Another chapel in the Catholic part is that one. This is the Pietà, Mary holding the dead body of her son. You can see here a statue. This is the second statue of the Catholic in the church, with a spear in her heart. Why spear in the heart? Remember the presentation at the temple? When Saint Simon met the Holy Family, he looked at Mary and said, Mary, your son will die in front of your eyes. It will be like a spear entering to your heart. Wow. She's suffering right now. From that moment, she never smiled. Think about a mother who knows what will happen to their child. I do have only one child. I wish that I will die before her. Then let me bless Ivy. Cross here. And let us memorize or remember the mother. And I'm sure that if you dedicated that cross to her, she was an amazing mother. She was the mother. She took care of you. And I know. It's not easy to be a mother. I think you know it now as well. Then this is the Catholic part. The exit is from the Orthodox part, but before we will leave, let me show you the Catholicon, the cathedral, a Greek Orthodox cathedral. And remember knocking on the wood, then let me show it to you. Look at that log, knocking on the wood. Let me bless the cross again. I believe in the fire and the Holy Spirit. And soon we are going out to show you the facade of the church. There are so many things to talk about it. It's almost 1 hour. It's not a short video. You can actually watch it in a few times. But I think it actually tells you everything about, or most of the things about the church. If you heard Italian, it means that it actually tells us that the Italians are taking care of the excavations here. Now, you can see the bench when the two people are sitting on it. That is where the Muslims are sitting. The Muslims got the keys for the church. They are opening the door every day and they're closing the door every night. Why the Muslims? It started as a negative thing, but now it's a positive thing. The negative thing is, from the 13th century, they decided who will enter and who will go out of the church, and they had to pay a lot of money. The money went to the Muslims, not to the church, and they had the key. Later on, let's say mostly the end of the Turkish and the Ottomans, and at the time of the British, it was better to leave the keys in their hands because no one actually wanted everyone wanted the keys here. Catholic, Protestant, Catholic, Armenian, and Copts. Everyone wanted the key, but the key is now the hands of the Muslims, because if not, they will still fight about who owns the church. The one who's got the key is on the church. Is it the Catholic Church? Is it a Is it the Armenian Church? Is it Greek Orthodox Church? Orthodox Church? You got the message. Then it's better to have the key for them. Look at the columns, mostly from the 12th century, from the Crusade time, and at the 16th century. And I didn't talk about it, but in my other videos I talked about the Holy Fire. The Holy Fire is a Greek Orthodox actually, an Armenian tradition. Every Saturday Easter, the Holy Fire went down from heaven straight to the tomb of Jesus. At the 16th century, the Ottomans, Armenians bought that ceremony from the Ottomans, and Christians and the Greek Orthodox couldn't enter to the church. Miraculously, instead of the tomb, the Holy Fire went out from there. Then people started to bless it, and you can see a lot of graffitis, a lot of them of the special Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So you can see the Golgotha right here. You can see it in so many places. But the most important graffiti here is on right here. Oh, let me hold the cross right there. You can see graffiti from 1389 or 84 of a Crusader Italian guy. And if we're talking about a Crusader symbol, there's another important tomb here of Philip, which was one of the Crusader who forced the British king to sign of the Magna Carta, and he's buried here. If you remember, we started the tour when we left the Coptic chapel, Ethiopian chapel. I'm climbing to the chapel that you saw from the window, and that window wasn't a window, it was a door, another entrance to the church, and I don't know if you can see because of the sun location, but there's another door. We saw the upper part of it, and it's difficult. Let me just put the cross here. And maybe you can see a little bit of the mosaic. So difficult. It's almost impossible to see the mosaic of the Crusade time, but at least you saw one of them there. And to climb up, it's easy. To leave that place is not easy. Remember that they are excavating now the floor and beneath it, and the remains is right there. Now, let's hope that I won't fall. When the Muslims came to here in 640, Omar, the Caliph, came to the church, and the bishop of the church told him, you can pray here. But he said, if I'll pray here, they will build a mosque here. Then he prayed outside, and now we can see Omar Mosque. Let me go a little bit further, because I want you to see a ladder. Yeah, very important. Meanwhile, the yard here belongs to everyone. The facade is from the end of the 11th century, beginning of the 12th century. Look at the ladder there. The ladder story tells us about the conflicts between the churches here. The Armenian took the ladder out because they wanted to clean the windows from the outside. The inner part belongs to them. The Greek Orthodox came to them and said, who told you that the ladder is yours? Until they figure out who owns that ladder, it will be there. I do have pictures of it from 1859. The ladder is still there according to the status quo between the Christians. They cannot touch it. Now you know about the ladder. And if you're talking about the other conflicts, then first of all, this is a chapel that belongs to the, in a way it's called Abraham Chapel. And in it there's a beautiful water system, and the dining room of the Greek Orthodox, and it's their office in a way here. Beautiful place. St. John Armenian Chapel is right here. Look at the beautiful door, and this is totally new. With I think the most amazing cross of the Christians. Above it, you can see the Greek Orthodox tree of Abraham and Isaac. Remember, we have few options. The chapel of the Ethiopians, but here you can see another chapel of Mary the Egyptian. And this entrance is always closed. I've been there, I entered from the other side. If you remember my other videos, when I took you to see the relic of the cross by the Greek Orthodox, this is the chapel of air. And why you are thinking too much? Why you are thinking too much, my dear? So good to see you. I know, no, you look thin, my dear. You look thin. I feel great. She asked me about my love life. Let's stop the video right now. All right, now I know that you want to know everything about her love life. She's got an amazing guy for 1 year, only. I remember that a year ago, she actually cried that she is too alone and she was miserable. And now, it's not only her birthday, she is celebrating 1 year together with him. Lovely, isn't it? I think you know everything. It's already 1 hour and 10 minutes. Please, if you want to, if you are here and watching the video until the end, please write a comment. Let me bless you for that. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you very much for the beautiful family of Ivy, the mother, Derek, my dear Nichola, and Maureen, that I think surprised to see themselves on YouTube. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.